I can't say I didn't think about quitting. I had moments, I'm human, I didn't know how I'd ever make my dreams come true, but if you can just keep believing when nothing in you is working, if you can just manage to somehow keep hoping, you just got to hope. Sometimes you ain't strong enough to believe. And I just took that hope and just kept hope alive. If you can keep hoping, man, you have a chance. If you can just go to bed and just wake up tomorrow. Every time you wake up, that's a sign from God that he ain't through with you yet.
We wake up and you think, no big deal. It is a big deal. You breathing? Come on now. Don't look past this.
See, you have to keep going because you just don't know when God is going to flip the switch. And he can't tell you when he's going to flip the switch because it would destroy the one thing that he requires from you, faith. Understand on your road to success that you just have to keep believing in this thing that you can't clearly see. Faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. People ask me all the time, Steve, did you ever see yourself with this? How? I didn't even know this existed.
Don't give up on yourself. You deserve a better life. Don't settle for just surviving. You got greatness in you. And all you need is some coaching. There are three types of people. They're winners, they're losers, and they're winners who have not discovered how to win. If you just discipline yourself to read one book a month in 5 years, that will make you an expert. I dare you to settle for surviving.
Faith crosses the line. Faith won't just stay in one place. It won't just sit down and be quiet. It'll break down some barriers. It'll tear down some walls. Faith is radical. Faith is not quiet. It's not passive. It'll shout out, even though somebody said shut up. Faith will always cross the line.
But you got to turn to God. You got to ask for help. Like if you can't figure your life out, you got to ask God, why did you create me? Your two most important days of your life, the day you born, the day you figure out why. You just got to ask God why. You don't have to keep tripping because he's your creator. He knows exactly why he created you.
And I want to say to you tonight, come a little closer. That God is not promising that he's always going to knock on your door. That in order to get the kind of breakthrough that you need, you may have to move to get it. You may have to be alone to get it. That sometimes you got to put some work in it. Sometimes you have to go out of your way to get it. Faith is radical. It's an action word. It's not a noun. It's a verb. If you got faith, you got to move. I wish I was talking to somebody tonight that was radical enough to take action if I had to be ridiculed, if I had to be gossiped about. See, if you are easily discouraged, you will never get what you want from God.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair that worms are eaten by birds, and they are. People that are hungry don't spend time talking about that it's not fair. They spend time looking for a way to win. I will persist until I succeed.
We live in a world today where the people are so easily discouraged that if the miracle is not convenient, they don't come. If they have to stand in line, they don't come. These are the same people who stand in line for hours for a ticket to a football game.
You can't put a price on life. Giving up is not an option. Being poor is not an option. Losing everything you have and being depressed and look what happened to me. No. Do not go where the path may lead. Go where there is no path and leave a trail. The masses of people, ladies and gentlemen, are followers.
Tell your neighbor your blessing is on the way. Your blessing is on the way. If you have the faith that crosses the line.
Turning wisdom from your philosophy, strengthening of attitude, faith, courage. If you're willing to take these two qualities, philosophy and attitude, and invest it into activity, you can have a miracle. The only thing that performs the miracle of increase called equity is called putting wisdom and attitude into labor. Number one, do what you can. What am I not doing that would be easy to do? What am I not doing I'm neglecting that would be easy to do? 2,000 years ago, one of Jesus' disciples said to Jesus, "It's time to pay our taxes and we don't have any money." Jesus said, "No problem." If you handed a problem to a miracle worker, what would he be inclined to say? No problem. You got to hang out with folks like that. You hand these guys a problem, they say no problem. What? How many books would they read to solve it? Many as it takes. How early would they get up? Early as it takes. So it's what? No problem. Jesus said, this will be no problem, the tax thing. He said to his disciple, it's simple. Go fishing. Now that was easy for this particular disciple. His name was Peter, and Peter was a fisherman. But here's the real problem. If you should fish, and you could fish, and you don't fish, you got no miracle. Could, should, don't, disaster. And if you will, then put it into action. The miracle belongs to you. Peter goes fishing, catches the first fish, looks in his mouth. Guess what's in the fish's mouth? Coins. Now we call that what? A miracle. Only because we don't quite understand how it works. It doesn't mean it doesn't work. But here's how you get a miracle going for your life. Number one, do what you can. You can't start at a better place for personal change. That'll affect your bank account, affect your future. Don't walk like other people walk. Don't postpone like other people postpone. Take action, number one, on neglect, on errors, in discipline. Number two, start setting up some disciplines. If that's not your philosophy, I would ask you to amend it. Whatever your hands find to do it with all your might, do it with all your strength, and do it with all your power. That kind of philosophy will revolutionize your life if you haven't picked it up lately. Guy says, I'm putting in about a half a day's work, and I'm collecting a full day's pay. Little does he know the seeds of his own disaster are already being sown by the weakness of his own personal philosophy.
As a participant in life, you cannot be committed. You're either committed to mediocrity or you're committed to greatness. See, whatever you're doing, however you spend your time, that tells you who you are. So once I look at how you commit your time, I can tell you exactly what you're committed to. People who say they want to improve their income level, look at how they spend their time. People who said, I'd like to do better, but you don't find them in vocational or technical schools upgrading their skills and their knowledge. People who say they want to normalize their weight, they want to be healthy, but every time you see them, they're eating. Don't have to listen to what they say, just watch what they do. Commitment shows up in your life in what you do.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks.
You have to take chances in life. If you don't take chances in life, you'll never have the life God has for you. Life is risk. It takes courage to pursue your dream.
Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living.
If you don't want to be uncomfortable, please do not pursue success, because success is a very uncomfortable feeling.
God wants you to be excited about your destiny so that you can endure the process that brings you into promise. Because there is a process before promise. And if you don't have at least a vision of the promise, the process will discourage you.
Sometimes bad things, horrible things happen to good people. And I don't know why, but life isn't fair.
Life isn't fair. Life just is. It wasn't fair.
The fact that you're still alive and still on this earth, even though it's been challenging and rough, and sometimes you get discouraged and uninspired to keep going. God has a plan. You will grow through what you go through. Everything that you're going through, at some point, it makes no sense to you right now. But at some point, God is going to reveal to you why all of these issues, challenges, and problems continue to show up and what you were supposed to learn from it.
a good person in the wrong place, in the wrong time, can end up just a victim of fate and of reality. And it can be horrible and heart-wrenching. And disease, cancer, and MS, and horrible diseases and accidents. But when those bad things happen, what are you going to do? How are you going to lead? Are you going to get angry? Are you going to get frustrated? Are you going to lash out at people? Who are you going to lash out at anyways? Are you going to start going down the spiral of negativity? Are you going to let this horrible situation dictate the way you feel and the way you handle it?
All I need you to do is not throw away your confidence. All I need you to do is stay in the game. All I need you to do is put one foot in front of the other. All I need you to do is keep your confidence. Because if you persevere, there's a promise that has your name on it.
And I'm saying to you, if you keep going, if you keep looking for a way, where there's a will, there's a way. If you keep moving, if you keep falling forward, if you keep getting back up, something's going to happen. Bob Marley said something I like. He said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is all you have. You never know how strong you are until being strong is all you have. It's your only option. And you'll discover, if you don't panic, if you don't run, you'll discover you are stronger than you give yourself credit for being. Don't surrender. Don't give in.
Are you going to fall over, fall down, and fall apart? Or are you going to lead? Are you going to face this issue with courage and with resolution? I say lead. Lead. Step up to the challenge. Be the one that other people look to. Absorb that impact. Absorb that negativity. Draw fire. Bring that pain to me. I can handle when maybe others cannot. When bad things are happening, I am going to try and be the one good thing. A thing standing tall that can be relied upon. And in fighting, we will win. And if not the battle, and if not the war, we will win because our spirit, it will never surrender. And that is the ultimate victory. To hold your head high, and even in the face of inescapable defeat, to stand and to fight. That is to win.
Just keep moving forward. Stay busy. Moving in the right direction. Looking, opening doors, knocking on doors. Finding a way out of no way.
Life's going to give you ultimately what you'll fight for. Stop allowing God to bless you and give you all this giftedness and opportunity and settle and tolerate less. Don't tolerate it anymore. Yeah, you got to give it your best, but it starts with making a decision that this is over. I don't tolerate this life anymore. Pretty good's not good enough for my family. Pretty good's not good enough for my grandmother. Pretty good's not good enough for my grandpa, my parents, my future children. Pretty good ain't going to get it done for this family.
Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, What are you going to do with what you have?
A lot of people give up. They surrender. They run with their tails between their legs. It's a God-ordained opportunity. There are opportunities here in the midst of crises. 3 types of people are going to come out of this: millionaires, billionaires, and witnesses, people who stood around and watched. You have something special. You have greatness in you. And whatever, no test, no testimony, whatever is in front of you, you have the power to handle it. I don't know what to do. Okay, got that. You don't know what to do. Figure it out. You don't have to know what to do. Walk by faith and not by sight. Figure it out. Everything that exists, somebody was willing to put in the energy and the time to figure it out. When life has been snatched out from under you, when things happen, when there are interruptions, don't miss a beat. Find a way to restart your life. Find a way to do something else. Be stubborn about your goals, but flexible about your approach.
I have been working my whole life. And what I didn't understand, by being determined to chase something, by being committed to it, and what commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood that you have set it in has left. You see, people think commitment is saying, yes, I'll do it on the days when it feels good. But I have been committed to everything that I ever started in my life, and I never stopped and I never quit it. And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much sweat equity in my life and everything that I was doing.
You cannot have relationship without reciprocity. You cannot get into a relationship to get and not give. And I want you to ask yourself, do you give as good as you get? Add up what you're getting and weigh it against what you're giving, and then you will know whether you're really joined to anything.
Because I understood my existence wasn't about me. I went from me to we a long time ago. I understood the process is more important than the product. It wasn't about the outcome for me. Whether I made it to the NFL or not, that was inconsequential in God's plan for my life. But I was going to fall in love with that process, because I understood by falling in love with that process, it was going to turn me into a machine. You see, a lot of people need things to get motivated. A lot of people need a little extra money to get motivated. A lot of people need, whatever the case may be, a little bonus to get motivated. I don't need anything but breath in my body and life. You see, the thing we have to understand about everything that we're a part of, first and foremost, it's a blessing by God. And when it's a blessing, you can't help but to give everything you got to it. My life got saved. I got spared my life.
Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. If it was easy, there'd be no Kerry Washington. If it was easy, there'd be no Taraji Henson. If it were easy, there'd be no Octavia Spencer. But not only that, if it were easy, there'd be no Viola Davis. If it were easy, there'd be no Denzel Washington. So, keep working. Keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
Yeah, people that come to work, they take a job, they're not committed to the job, they want the check. They want the check. Well, everybody wants some money, baby. I'm just here for the check. That's why it's not going to work for you. You don't understand the reciprocity. Anybody wants some money, but if you're not willing to give at least as good as you get, it will not last. And that's why you can't stay anywhere or work for anybody, but you've never been joined to anything. So you collect anniversaries, you've got a lot of birthdays, you've got some plaques on the wall, but you've never been the person that you could be, because the could be is locked up behind commitment. And until you're committed, you'll never get the could be.
Because when you start looking at giving your best at all times, that's not easy.
But when you are committing yourself to doing something, those are the standards that you set for yourself because that's who you are. If you're working on a job where you're miserable, they're not paying you what you're worth, and you're dissatisfied. If you've decided to continue to take a paycheck, you owe it to yourself to give it your best effort. If you get in the habit of being mediocre or doing just enough to get by, you're not hurting anybody but you. You're cheating you.
The moment that you commit yourself, then all unforeseen incidents, people, things that can happen that are positive begin to come your way. And basically the whole thought was the fact that nothing comes to you until you commit yourself.
There was a man who was an efficient builder. He had worked for years in a large company and had reached the age of retirement. His employer asked him to build one more house. It was to be his last commission. The builder took the job, but his heart was not involved. He used inferior materials, and he failed to see the many things that should have been clear to him had he shown even his normal interest in his work. When the house was eventually finished, his employer came to him and said, "The house is yours. Here's the key. It's a present from me." The builder immediately regretted that he had not used the best materials and engaged the most capable workers. If only he had known that the house was for him.
Half studied, half worked, half labored, and then wonder why I thought I'd be further than I am at the age. Let me tell you why you are not further. It is not the devil. It is not witches. It is not demons. And it's sure God ain't haters. You are not any further than where you are right now because you have never thrown your whole self at anything in your life. And you think greatness goes on sale, but true quality never goes on sale.
Live each day with integrity. Don't try and get over in life. Don't try and cheat. See, a lot of people like to try and cheat. Don't try and cheat. Say, well, this little bit won't count. Everything counts.
To be connected, to be focused, to be committed. That is something we don't see anymore. You've always been casual and never been committed. And some of the most casual people are talented people, because talented people will lay on their talents and use their talent as a camouflage to cover up their lack of commitment. And because you're talented enough to be able to float by on broken pieces, you will fool an indiscriminate eye into thinking that you are committed. You're not committed, you're just talented. You'll never know what you could have been if you would have really committed yourself. You're just talented enough to get over. And you faked them out. You've been at 30 or 60-fold when you were created to be 100-fold person. I can't be committed to everything. I can't join everything. I can't be married to 1,000 women. I can't work 1,000 jobs. I can't join 5 churches because I take my commitment too seriously to spread it around loosely.
Success brings envy. So don't be surprised when you start doing well, you start losing some friends. Suck it up and keep moving on.